Hey everyone, welcome to Transformational Tuesday with Tasha. Welcome back to season 2. I am so excited. The break was good this summer, but I missed y'all, and I am so excited about this new season. If you joined me last time, you know that we went through a book called Atomic Habits, and that was a great journey of just self awareness, self discovery, and really leaning into who we are and the right habits. But for those of you all who I've never met before, I am Tasha McDonald, and I am in Montgomery, Alabama, and I'm the owner of Maximized Growth LLC, which is a training and development company. And we specialize in leadership development, communication strategies, and team unity. And I started a journey last season where we went through a book again called Atomic Habits, and we show up every Tuesday and we just dig into the book and really just work on our personal growth. This season, I decided to do something different. I sent out posts, I sent out emails to let everyone know that this time I'm actually going to be honed in on the ladies. Now, guys, if y'all are here, you're more than welcome to stay and participate in the conversation. But we are going to do this season around my book. And this is actually the third book that I've written. And this is called Fight for Your Next Level. And I wrote this book back in 2019, pre-pandemic. And it's amazing how the things that we write, especially if you're a writer out there, you can totally relate how we write from our stories, we write from our lives, and we want to help other people because of where we've been healed, where we've grown. But it was so interesting how this book has been sitting on my shelf since 2019. And yes, I wrote it, I read it, but it was something about this season that I need to pull it off the shelf and read it again for myself. And when I started reading it, I was like, wow, this book was written for me and everyone like me. And let me explain what I mean by that. Women who were in business and leadership, women who are on the forefront. I do a lot of speaking to people, I coach people, but women on the forefront who you pour out a lot. You may be a leader in an organization, you may be a ministry leader, you may be someone who people depend on you, right? And you pour out a lot. And sometimes, if we're not careful, we can pour out. But then, if we are not filling back up, we don't really, we're not doing anybody any good, not even ourselves. You cannot pour from an empty vessel, right? And how many of y'all know that as we are growing and developing and we're out front and we're leaders, that there's levels to our growth? So just because we've reached the max of a level doesn't mean that there's not more for us. And sometimes when we're on another level, it feels like we're starting all over again. So I wanted to write this book to that woman again who's out front, who's on the forefront, to say, hey, this is for you too. You don't have to just be out there pouring into everyone else and neglect yourself. And when I tell y'all that every single word that I wrote was written for me, it was a journey so personal, but there's something about something that's so good that you just can't help but to share it with other people. So I wrote this 2019, and here we are in 2023. We're towards the latter part of this year. And how many of y'all, like me, feel like there is something that is waiting for you on another level? No matter how good your life is, no matter how much growth, no matter how much you've overcome, there's still more. And if we're not careful, we can get stuck in our past victories. We can get stuck in our present discomforts. We can get stuck behind even, of course, things that go bad, but sometimes things that are going good. We can get stuck. And so we want to make sure that we're constantly evolving, we're constantly growing. And so that's why I picked this book. So if you're on this journey and you're like, you know what, I need this too, I would love for you to engage with me in the comments. And before we even dig in, I would love for you to share this with other people? Do you know another woman who is a leader? Who do you know another woman who pours out? And maybe y'all have had conversations with each other and you're like, you need to be on this call, this live stream with us. And just do me that favor, share it out with others. Please like my channel, subscribe to my channel, because I want to make sure that you don't miss every Tuesday when we come together. I don't want you to miss this conversation. I see you, D. Kennedy. Thank you so much. So, just to give you a backstory, because again, not everybody knows who I am. Like I mentioned, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been a full-time entrepreneur now. Gosh, I feel like it's been 20 years. No lie. This business and this space that I've been in this space probably since 2014. And of course, I've been full-time entrepreneur all this time, but I have been in the space of training and development and coaching and speaking since about 2014. And like I mentioned, this is my third book. Um, when we put ourselves out there, when we're on the forefront, we're not exempt from life happening to us. Y'all know that, right? We're not exempt from life happening to us. Sometimes, though, what we don't have the luxury of being able to tell the whole story. And that doesn't mean that we're being fake or phony. It's just that sometimes when we're in this space, we have to be very careful that we're not throwing up on people and we're not using platforms like this for our counseling sessions, and we're not, you know, causing more harm than good. So we have to have our support circles for sure. So, as we dive into this conversation about fight for your next level, I want to encourage you, don't go on this journey alone. Yes, we'll connect here on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock, but bring a friend. If you want to purchase the book, this book is available in physical form. You can Cash App me, and I've actually got in the description of this my Cash App or my Venmo. If you are a Kindle reader and you want to actually just read it on your phone or on your tablet, you can just go to Amazon and put this in here. Fight for your next level, and the version of that is on there as well. So no matter what format that you want to follow along, please follow along with us. And tonight, we're actually going to be doing more of an introduction. And I see some more people joining us. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Aura. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Tonight is really designed to be more of an introductory, because I do want to give people time. For those of you who want to get the book, or those of you who have purchased the book, go get it off your shelf so you can follow along too. So, again, just want to do more of an introductory tonight. And I have 10 points that I want to share around fight for your next level. And please understand, we all have the same room in common, room for improvement. So, women in business, women in leadership, even if you're a ministry leader, please understand that you have permission. You have permission during our time together to just block out everybody else. You have permission to really just make this about you. Yes, bring your friends, share it out. But as we're diving into this conversation, it's just us, okay? So I don't want you to feel like that you're taking notes for someone else, because let me tell you, when I pick this book off the shelf and I started reading it, I was reading it for me. And I was blown away. And Cheryl, actually, who's on here, my cousin Cheryl, we had a conversation about this. And she said it's amazing how it was almost like this self-fulfilling prophecy that was written back in 2019 that was needed for the version of the life that I'm living right now. So, fight for your next level was really all about reclaiming victory. It was all about reclaiming victory from fear, from shame, from guilt, from pain, while you're leading others. Because, like I said in the beginning, we are people, and at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're okay while we're leading people, for sure. And I had this vision of this boxing ring. I think in pictures and movies and visuals. Okay. So y'all follow along. I had this image of this boxing ring. And all of a sudden, the announcer says, and now presenting, and he points at the audience and he calls out your name, or he calls out my name. And basically it's our fight. And we're being ushered up to the ring. And while we're being ushered up to the ring, we're having to walk past fear, who's mocking us. We're having to walk past shame, who says, "Who do you think you are? You're not equipped for this." We're having to walk past guilt, because guilt is saying, "You know what you've done. You know the things that you said. If they really knew who you were, they wouldn't follow you." We're having to walk past the pain of yesterday. Some of us have overcome in areas, and it's amazing. We're even talking and testifying about it. But some of us have pain so deep that there's layers to this. And again, remember I said at the beginning of this, there's going to be some things that we talk about that I'm encouraging you. Don't do this alone. The only reason that I was able to write this book is because I spent hours in counseling sessions. I spent hours in prayer. I spent hours talking to a close-knit group of people who I still have as support. I still have that support circle. But sometimes the new level of us requires us to hold our head up high and walk past the guilt, walk past the shame, walk past the fear or the insecurities. Am I talking to anybody so far? The new version of us wants to go to another level, but sometimes the new version of us is fighting for territory and demanding that this new version of us is allowed to live, because the old version of us served us well in the seasons that all those versions of us that needed to. But now, where we're going and where we're growing, the assignments that we have, it's going to require a newer version. But and Cheryl, I'm going to probably be talking about our, not every bit of our conversation, but you said something that was really key to me the other day. She said the original version of us was enough. So it's not to dismiss. It's not to dismiss who you were. It's not to dismiss everything that brought you to this moment, right? Because here's the thing, y'all, everything that brought us to this moment was necessary. Every single thing was necessary. So, yes, ma'am, we're leveling up now. We're leveling up and we're walking with our head held high. And we're saying, you know what? Every step we take going to that ring, we're saying, yep, it's time. Yep, I'm ready. And we're talking to ourselves and we're saying to ourselves, this is you. This is you. You got this. And the more that we are in agreement with the new level, the more that we're in agreement with this new version, the more that we're in agreement with what God Himself is saying for us, all of those voices start to disappear. And they're like faint whispers until they're gone. But you know what? They still have to watch our level up. Isn't that cool? They still get to watch our level up. And y'all, how many of you sitting on the other side of this know that it's your time? You know that it's time to stop settling. You know that it's time to walk into the newness of who you are, honoring the person that you've been. How many of y'all, just if it's you, just type yes in the chat. Just let me know. Who am I talking to tonight? Is this you? Is this your fight? Are you ready? Because you've already been equipped. You've already got the scars, the bruises, like everything. You've already got the victories. Is it you? If it's you, let me know. Yes. Yes, Tasha, it's me. I'm the one. This is my fight. And it's personal, y'all. It is so personal. And so, one of the things during the break from the last time that I was on with Transformational Tuesday with Tasha, I went to Orlando, Florida, and I'm a part of the John Maxwell Team Conference. I'm a certified speaker, trainer, and coach under the John Maxwell Team. And one of the things that I love about his conferences is that every time we get together, we get together in March and we get together in August. And every time he has his conference. For this time, I think it was the second day. He had a worship service. And I love this about him because even though he's well known in the business community, he still acknowledges his faith, which is part of his core values, right? And he had this worship service. And the beautiful thing about this, y'all, is there were people that came from all over the world. It was like a melting pot of diversity. I got a chance to take a picture with a group from Vietnam. There were people there from Africa. There were people there from countries I'd never heard of before, black, white, everybody in between. It was beautiful. And when I say everybody, this room was packed with people at this worship service. And John Maxwell unapologetically had a worship service in the middle of a business conference. And he made it volunteer. People didn't have to come, but he opened it up because he says people are always asking him, tell us the secret to your success. Tell us the secret to how you become this person. And I respect that so much. And so when I thought about me doing Transformational Tuesday this season, I thought, you know what? I'm going to follow suit because there have been a lot of things that have happened in my journey that I don't even have to go into details about, but just know the scars are there. Some wounds, hey, we're all a work in progress, right? But one of the things that I have people telling me lately is, wow, you've changed. Or wow, you look different. And you've heard the phrase, you don't look like what you've been through. You've heard that before, right? You don't look like what you've been through. And I want to really just take some time this season to acknowledge my core values, the secret to my success. And that has been my faith in God. And so, as I share this journey of fight for your next level, I'm just going to give you fair warning. You may not believe the way that I believe. So, all I'm doing is just sharing my story and telling you what my anchor has been. And my anchor has been my faith in God. And so, as I tell this story and as we have these conversations, I want you to understand my frame of reference of where I'm coming from. Okay? Deal? So, fight for your next level. Here's some things that I want to go over in the introduction. And remember, I have 10 things. Okay? So, the first thing I want you to know before we dive into the journey is that you are not just here to survive. You're not just here to survive. In fact, one of the things that I wrote on here is this book was written for every strong person who pours into everyone, but needs to be reminded that you're not forgotten. You didn't just barely get by. You're not just barely getting along. You didn't go through everything that you went through just to say, whew, I'm done now. Everything has served a purpose. So you're not just here to barely survive and to just barely get by. I need you to know that. You are here on assignment. You are here for a reason. You are here because, yes, you are to be whole. You are to be healed. But guess what? You're also here to pave the way for others. And that's what makes us so unique and so special is that we're not just here just to survive. The mission is not just to see how much we can get for ourselves. Please know that everything that happens to you, it's going to happen through you. Okay? So that's number one. You're not just here to survive in this fight. So number two is we have to acknowledge the fact that you have overcome the odds before. You have. There are some testimonies that you have that absolutely amazing. You are a walking miracle. You've overcome before. When I say not just barely survive, you have some amazing things that have happened to you, but it's not over. There's more. There's more. Okay. So, number three, I want to acknowledge you are strong. You ever heard that term, check on your strong friends? You're strong. It's okay. That's not a curse word. That's not an insult to you. You are. And you don't have to be ashamed of the fact that you're strong. You don't have to hide your healing. You don't have to hide your testimony because, as you know, there's a term from glory to glory. You ever heard that term? There's things that God has done for you before, He's going to do now, He's going to do even beyond this. So you are strong. It's okay to acknowledge that. How many of y'all have ever felt like, oh, I don't want anybody to know? Be honest. Here's the thing, you are. Go ahead and acknowledge it. Go ahead and admit it. You are strong. And guess what? You're going to get stronger. That's the beauty of this, y'all. Number 4, do we fight for ourselves like we are fighting for everyone else? This is something I had to ask myself. I had to be honest, you know. I have poured I went to, okay, again on the break. I went to another conference. It was a women's conference and this was just recent. And one of the things that she asked, she said, "What if the thing that you have considered a weakness is actually your superpower?" And this is about, do we fight for ourselves like we're fighting for everyone else? The fact that you are really good at encouraging other people, the fact that you may be sensitive, the fact that you may love hard, you know, that was my thing. I love hard. The fact that we do these things or are these things, the fact that you fight for other people, that's not a bad thing. My only question is, do you realize that that actually is a good thing? And the other part of that is, are you doing it for you? Y'all not talking to me. I need to make sure I'm talking to the right people still. Is this helping you so far? Is this causing you to reflect so far? Do you fight for you like you're fighting for everyone else? Tasha, are you fighting for you? Are you loving you like you love everyone else? And this new season, fight for your next level, that's what is being required of me, is to love Tasha so hard, you know, because loving hard is a superpower. I just got to make sure that I'm not forgetting about Tasha. In fact, can I love from the overflow? From the love that God pours into me to the love that I pour out to myself. Because there's a scripture that says, love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? Um, Number 5, are we connected? All of this is in my introduction, and what I won't do is I'm not going to sit here and read you the pages of the book. You're going to have to get the book for yourself. And I'm telling y'all, when I sat here and read this, I was like, this is some good stuff. But are we connected? And what I mean by that is, are we connected here? You know, when is the last time that you sat down and just had a conversation? If you're a person of faith, when is the last time that you just sat down and had a conversation with God? And maybe you didn't do all the talking, but maybe you just did some listening. Are you connected with His word? Again, if you're a person of faith, are you connected to yourself? Do you have people that you're connected to? Like who can you call when you have days that you forget who you are, or you forget why you're here? Who are you connected to? Do you have people that are behind you, that are looking up to you, that consider you their mentor, that consider you their coach? Are you connected? Because oh, this just reminded me of something. I actually have a trademark called Connected Women Win. Haven't used it in a while, but it is so true. Connected women really do win, because when we're connected, guess what, y'all? We're never alone. And when we're connected, not just to anybody, but connected to the right things and the right people, guess what? Somebody always sees you. And you never ever have to be found saying, does anybody even see me? Because I said that one time when I was in counseling. And I actually said to my counselor, why does everybody think that I always have it together? And she said to me, have you even let anybody in to show them or ask for help? That was for somebody right there. Are you connected? Number 6, is there more in you? As you get ready to gear up and fight for your next level, do you even know what you're fighting for? Do you know that there's more? Do you know that, it's amazing that you have come to this place, but do you know that there's more in you? Do you know that there's a future that is amazing? But here's the thing, it's okay to appreciate now before you get the more. I need to appreciate now before you get the more. But please know there's more. Number 7, do you know your assignment? And what I mean by that is, do you know your purpose? Do you know your why? Sometimes, as we go from level to level and we go from season to season, sometimes we got to remind ourselves, okay, why am I here? That actually needs to be an ongoing, fresh conversation. Why am I here? And sometimes when we think about our purpose, sometimes we complicate that thing. Your purpose can be the thing that brings you the greatest joy, that even if you didn't get paid for it, you would still be doing it. But did you know your purpose can also be the thing that makes you upset? Because you're sitting there wondering, why doesn't anybody see this? Don't they know? And I'm here to tell you that maybe they don't, because maybe you're the answer. And sometimes our purpose, a lot of times, it's the very things that we've overcome that now we've been called to a higher level to help others in the very areas that we were under attack in. So, do you know your assignments? Because sometimes we can act like we have amnesia and act like we don't know. You want to know why? And I can say all of this because been there, done that. Okay. Sometimes we act like we don't know because we're too busy working on other people's assignments. It's going to pause right there. Sometimes we don't know because we're trying to compare ourselves to other people because we think their assignment looks better. But we all have an individual assignment. And guess what? Remember that boxing ring that you're walking to? You're getting ready for that fight. There's an assignment with your name on it, and you're equipped. You are ready. You are called. You've been groomed for this. You couldn't run away if you tried. That's the thing about purpose. Purpose will call you out in a crowded room and say, ladies and gentlemen, coming right up to the boxing ring, we have the one, the only, fill in the blank with your name. Number 8, what are you standing on? Because you do know when you get into a fight, I wish I could tell you that the whole, our enemies there is only one enemy, but he uses things like the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, the, whatever as weapons against us. But what are you standing on when those things try to come back and mock you and try to dismiss you or discount you and tell you who you're not? What are you standing on? For me, that's why I'm having this conversation with you right now, is because one of the things, the thing, not just one, the thing that I'm standing on is my faith in God. And so I have his word, I have the Bible, I have promises in his word that these are the things that I have to go to remind me, okay, this is who I am. This is who he says I am. This is what I have access to, right? What are you standing on? Because we need to make sure we're not standing on faulty foundations. We need to make sure we're not standing on things that can disappear just like that. We can't stand on needing external validation from others people's opinions of us or the accolades because of our careers or our businesses or ministries. We can't afford to stand on temporary things. We've got to have some solid stuff that we're standing on. So when the winds and the waves and the storms come through, guess what? We can stand flat-footed and say, Come on. But this is who I am. And this is who I know is backing me. So what are you standing on? Number 9, when you know what you're standing on, you got to make sure you're in the right position. In this season, you can't afford distractions, my friend. In this season, you can't afford the to do things that you did in earlier seasons because they may have worked in those other seasons. But this time you need new strategies. So are you in position? And then number 10, do you have the right perspective? Do you know that it's possible for you to win? Or are you going into this battle already feeling like you've lost? Because this is what I know. And I don't know the scripture of this, and maybe somebody can put this in there, but there's a scripture that says that there's an enemy, there's a devil that goes around like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. And who he's looking for is people who don't believe, people who don't have the right perspective. So in this season, we've got to shift our minds to say, you know what? I believe I'm a winner. I believe that I'm an overcomer. I believe. And as I'm talking to y'all right now, let me tell y'all, I'm talking to me too. We have to make up our minds that we know, that we know, that we know that we're equipped. And we're not just talking game with no backup. We got to know, y'all. So let me repeat these 10 things just in case somebody came on a little late. You're not here to just survive. That's number 1. Number 2, you have overcome odds before. And guess what? You can do it again. Number 3, it's okay to acknowledge that you're strong. You're just going to get stronger. Number 4, do we fight for ourselves like we're fighting for everyone else? Number 6, do you know that there's more in you? Number 7, do you know your assignments or your purpose? Number 8, exactly what are you standing on? Number 9, are you in position? And number 10, do you have the right perspective? Did this help you today? This is just scratching the surface. This is just the introduction. But were you reminded of anything today? If you were, will you do me a favor? Put the number in the chat. 1 through 10, which one stood out to you the most? Which one did you say, dang, that's it right there? That's the one. Which one stood out to you the most? And while I'm waiting on you to put your number, again, I want to just remind you, if you want to get a copy of this book, Fight for Your Next Level, all you got to do in the description, I put my Cash App. It's $25, but I put my Cash App and my Venmo. So you can just shoot that over to me and put your address, or you can go to Amazon and get the Kindle version of this on Amazon. Either way, you can grab this because starting next week, we're going to dig in. And this is a 10-day devotional. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take one section per week. And there's some prompts in here that as we go through this, I'm always going to give you a challenge. I'll share the information and I'll give you a challenge. And then I'm going to also back it up with some scriptures for you, just in case you want to meditate on your own. D. Kennedy said number 4. Thank you for that, D. Kennedy. Thank you. But just to give you some examples of what we're going to be talking about, and this was my 3rd book, but this was my most transparent book. And one of the things that I always know as a speaker, as an influencer, as a trainer, the only times that I really tell my story, it's not just to sit there and dwell on, it's all about me. The only reason why I'm sharing certain aspects of my story with you all is to let you know, 1, I get it. I'm human too. Been there, done that, right? But the other reason is I want you to know, I want you to see the transition. I want you to see the journey. right? I want you to see that. Thank you, Cheryl, for putting that in there. 1 Peter 5:8. Thank you so much. So as we go through the 10-day devotion, or actually 10 sessions, because we're going to go through this over a span of 10 weeks. But the first one is inside these walls. That's the first section, is inside these walls. And the walls are metaphorical, because how many of y'all know we can trap ourselves behind these invisible walls that not only are we trapped in, but other people can't get in, the right people or the right opportunities can't get in. So we talk about inside these walls. The second one is the way out is through. So not only do we get a chance to come out from behind the wall, but sometimes you just got to knock the wall down. Just knock it down. Number 3 is we're going to talk about expose the lies. And some of us have to make sure that we're not attached to these inner vows that we've had all the way back when, and we've believed the lie for so long that we have literally canceled out opportunities for ourselves. And we want to expose the lies and replace the lies with the truth. And then number 4, that one we're going to talk about, remember who you are. One of my favorite scenes in The Lion King was when Simba and Mufasa were together, and he looked in the water. I think that was the part where he says, you've forgotten who you are, and so you've forgotten me. Look inside yourself. You are more than what you've become. And I imagine God saying that. Just look inside. I'm here. I've been here. Look inside my word. Remember who you are. The 5th one is, do you want to be made whole? Because how many of y'all know we got to let go of all the excuses? We got to let go of all the excuses. And you know what else we got to do? We've got to take ownership. As we go through this journey, what I will never do is I will never place blame on anyone. And that is a level of maturity. That's part of your fights and your leveling up, is it's not about playing the blame game. There are things that we have to do to take responsibility for our lives. And that's part of this journey. Is, so do you want to be made whole? Because if you do, you can't play the blame game. The next one, number 6, is awaken the vision within. And that is going to be a really good one. And then number 7 is stand strong and fight. We're not just going to be in the ring looking pretty, y'all. We're going to put our gloves on and we're going to fight. But here's the thing. We're fighting from a place of victory. And we're not by ourselves. Number 8, are you willing to let go? Because you can't go back and pick up things, y'all. We got to stay forward. And then number 9, courage for the journey. And then number 10, God is a master restorer. So claim your victory. And these are the 10 sessions that we're going to be going through and fight for your next level. So y'all, tell your friends. And hey, if they, all you can do is tell them, right? But show up with me. This is going to be on YouTube. So I know there might be times you have to miss. I love the engagement. Share this. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I want to end, and I'm always going to end with a scripture, because every time we get together, again, I'm just sharing from the overflow. And I got so excited about this in Psalm 71. And I'm reading this. I love the TPT version. And I'm going to read this, and we're going to conclude with this. But as I'm reading this, I would love for you to tell me, what are you looking forward to on this journey together? So let me read this. It says, Lord, you are my secure shelter. Don't ever let me down. Let your justice be my breakthrough. Bend low to my whispered cry and save me from all of my enemies. You're the only place of protection for me. I keep coming back to hide myself in you, for you are like a mountain cliff fortress where I'm kept safe. Let me escape from these cruel and wicked men and save me from the hands of the evil one. For you are my only hope, Lord. I've hung to you, trusting in you all my life. It was you who supported me from the day I was born, loving me, helping me through my life's journey. You've made me into a miracle, No wonder I trust you and praise you forever. Many marvel at my success, but I know it's all because of you, my mighty protector. I'm overflowing with your praise for all you've done, and your splendor thrills me all day long. And that was Psalm 71, 1 through 8. So, why am I doing this book? Why am I doing this season right now? Because I am declaring that my hope, my peace, my security is in the very one who has been with me all along. And I am excited to share this. So, thank you for being on this journey with me. Again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like and share. Invite others with you, and let's go on this journey of fight for your next level. And if you have any questions, if feel free to inbox me or email me, Tasha at maximizedgrowthllc.com. And I cannot wait to go on this journey with you. Y'all have an amazing evening. And thank you. Thank you for showing up for you. And let's go fight, y'all, in faith from a place of victory. Have a wonderful evening. And I hope to see you next week. Bye.